Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in today for Wake Up with Bunny. I've got my coffee. My water is, I don't know, somewhere else. Everybody's saying good morning in the chat. If you are tuning in live, I'm so glad you're here. If you're watching after the fact, you're missing so much side fun over here. So grab your coffee. Let's check out what is going on the news feed this morning. Oh, let's see what we have to offer. I hope it's a good, chatty, wisdom speaking kind of morning. Let's see. Oh, if you're not on my newsletter already, I hope you will join, sign up there, and check it out. Get all that wonderful goodness. Oh, Renee has been rocking, sharing these Seinfeld, like, what is that? Still, oh, what is it called? What is it called? The slow movement thing, but it's like frame by frame. They take the pictures and they're killing it with reenacting all these Seinfeld scenes. It's been so good. Okay, this is a great question. How soon does a girl start fucking other men during a breakup? Anywhere between 6 months before and the morning she broke up with you. Let me explain. And I'm telling you this for stop motion. Thank you, stop motion animation. Thank you, Eric, for being my brain cell there. Let me describe to you from the actual female perspective why it is that girls seem to recover so quickly when in breakups. I know that guys already say this. Guys already say this to one another, but whenever you hear it from a female, that's why I'm here, is because it's just like, it's girls have to process it all before they even break up. So by the time that you guys find out that you're splitting up, if it's something that she has instigated, she has already done all of the healing. She's already done all of the grieving, I should say. She's already felt all the pain. But the problem with this plan is, and it's genetic. It's truly survival of the fittest in the female species. And I'll explain why. Because before these wonderful modern times that we're living in now, you had to be able to recover quickly, protect yourself, make sure that yourself and your children were as happy and healthy and cared for as possible. So it's there are women who I know in modern times who knew that they were going to be, that their marriage wasn't going to last, but they had the wherewithal to go back to school, get a master's degree, and so at least a 2.5 year hiatus. And then as soon as she had the degree, she broke up. She broke up the marriage. She broke up the family. This has nothing to do, I'm not even talking about his side of things. Some marriages are just not meant to stay together. Some marriages should not have been marriages. But girls have to have a game plan, because most of us are going out into the world as single mothers. Most have at least one kid at that point. Most marriages produce children. So if she's having to think about caring for herself and at least one child, she has to plan ahead. This is built into our coding system. So it's not that we haven't grieved. The problem is, and what I think the most men who talk about this, so what I just said is not new information. We've talked about this. Everyone, male, female alike, acknowledges this. The problem with this plan is, the problem with this wiring is that for the year, 2 years, 6 months that she's in her head breaking up with you, she could have been improving the relationship. She could have been genuinely working towards great improvement. And that's where the rub really happens in my book, because she could have been doing things to make life better and to maybe in a lot of situations actually heal the relationship and not destroy the family, not break up a home, make the relationship what it had been originally, and therefore you don't need to break up. So I think that's where a female's genuine like coding system works so deeply against us, because I believe that there are so many marriages that could have prevented breaking up, families that could have prevented breaking up, if she had spent that last year, instead of complaining and looking for verification and reasons to just loathe him more and to get away from him as quickly as she can, if instead of looking for all of those signs and verification of a decision that she's decided to make to break up this family, if she would have been putting as much effort into healing the relationship and healing the family and keeping everyone happy, healthy, and safe and secure in the relationship. So this is where the coding system just doesn't work. And this is a long spiel off of what Fort Worth was originally saying, but it all matters. And that's where guys who discuss this topic don't miss the mark, but they don't see the mark. They don't see that element. A lot of times you will not see that, hear about that whenever you're discussing that topic. I've seen Logan Paul's fiance pictured with at least 15 famous men on my timeline against my will. I don't know how he is sleeping at night. This is an interesting point. So there are women, what was it? Was it Bezos's latest wife, the one that was flirting with Leonardo DiCaprio that day, that they go from celebrity man to celebrity man. They're not celebrities. Oftentimes the women themselves only become celebrities by proximity, because they're seen and out and about with these high profile men. But these are the true gold diggers, for lack of a way to put it. It is their type, and their ultimate goal, and everything that they do in their lives revolves around making sure that they are with high profile men. Eric, they're not even social climbers. They because that almost indicates that, the middle class girl wants to marry, someone in the upper middle. And then, maybe she splits from him and ends up marrying someone in an upper class family. This is more like it is their type, their duty, their job, their self-made obligation to be the basketball wife, the CEO, not even CEO. Usually it's like high profile athletes, but you'll see these women moving around in those circles. And once they get a taste for it, they will not like come down from that. There's a lot of great conversation going on. I want to jump over here and show it, kind of like being a trophy husband. Yeah, seriously. Also, I think that, hold on, I want to look at what Eric said earlier when we were still talking about the women's wiring. Good way to look at it. The more a woman complains, even needlessly, by this point, she's just looking for a reason to break up or walk out, because mentally and emotionally she already is. 1000%. Exactly. Man, timeline is fire this morning. I'm digging it. This is awesome. Sometimes the conversation online is a real dud. Okay, let's see what Ryan says about this. I want to see what. There was this cartoon I watched almost a decade ago where millennials would lose touch with their kids. The funny part is their daughter was dressed in 3 strips of electrical tape, listening to random electronic noise. Dad says, "Man, I miss real music like Lil' Kim." Anyone know where this is? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Lil' Kim was rocking this, what, like a decade ago, 2 decades ago? Okay, while we've got this girl pulled up, symmetry is what makes women beautiful. This woman is stunning. And of course she's on a runway. So clearly she's got the full team working to make sure that she looks amazing, that her hair's perfect, that her makeup is like stage level makeup. It is extreme makeup, but she has good structure. So here's my question for you guys. What do these tattoos look like to you? To me, it throws the symmetry of her body off. It's not that I am anti-tattoo. It's not that I don't think that she still looks stunning, but it always makes me wonder if the girl believes that the tattooing, especially to this extent, is improving her appearance. Does it make things more beautiful? Does it make things more more lovely to look at? And in my opinion, she would be so much more lovely and an absolute smoke show if she didn't have the tattoos, or didn't have this extent, I should say. She is fucking phenomenal. Her body looks great. She's got like just the right amount of like body fat. She's got the booty that is so popular right now, but it's not even extreme. Her arms look great. Her boobs look amazing. Her abs are like perfect because it's not ripped that like make other men, or men jealous, or men, not want to be with her. But she's lean and she's good looking. So let's see what's being said here. I'm just so curious what your thoughts are here. I'm going to pause this so this will stop rocking around. So Eric says, the tape around her legs, or lack thereof, on her left side is also asymmetrical and draws attention away from the otherwise symmetrical taped mommy milkers. Well, I'm sure they had to dress her in this way specifically because she's got the heavy tattooing on the other side. It's just interesting to me. This is what I find so fascinating about the tattoo phenomenon. Absolutely. Baron, she's hot as fuck. And given the amount of damage, for lack of a better way to say it, that is required to for a female to have this level of tattooing, she's like insane in bed and out. But yeah, she's a fucking smoke show. How much more beautiful though, Baron? How much, and this is an honest question, how much more attractive would she be? How much more would you want to fuck her if she had even half the tattoos? And this is a genuine question. I want to know, how this affects your eye. No, she's fucking awesome. She's a smoke show. All right, let's see what else we have here. I love all the, you know, back to actually what Ryan was saying, you know, he was talking about, you know, having a cartoon where, you know, Lil' Kim, there was this reference to Lil' Kim. I think it's so funny how cartoons seem to be predicting art in a way, because think of all of the things that the Simpsons even pseudo predicted or had on their page. Let's see. Okay, Baron. This is actually really. Oh, this is Eric. Sorry. This is actually really interesting to me. I'd want to bang her even more without tattoos, but that also means all the more reason not to validate her needlessly. Great point. You don't want to actually like give her credit for for bad decisions. You know, you don't want to give her extra attention for being so great at making bad decisions. Man, that is fascinating to me. She is stunning. But the tattoos are absolutely distracting to me. All right, Tim Hicks. He wants you guys to go to the gym. I want you guys to go to the gym, even if you don't want to, even if you don't feel like it, even if it sucks. You'll be glad you went anyway. Here's what you always have to remember about fitness, about workouts. For every 5 workouts, 1 is going to be like a gold medal winning performance. It's going to be, you're going to be strong. You're going to have your feet under you. You're going to have your lungs. You're going to make PRs. You're going to have heavy lifts. You're going to be stronger than you think you should have been even. 3 are going to be just like checking the box. They're good workouts. They're decent enough. You feel good. You feel good about the workout. It made you feel good. You certainly didn't regret doing it, but there's nothing magical about it. It was a workout. 1 for every 5 is going to be a total shit show. That's true with a lot of things. That could be true of dates. That could be true of productivity days. A lot of times there's just days where it's just not going to hit right. So always just keep that consistency up, because that's where the magic happens. Let's see what Eric's saying about it. I had a workout starting at midnight, ended at 2 a.m., then was eating my food till about 2:45, then cold shower. It feels great to work out in an empty gym. Man, you are not kidding. So Fort Worth and I, of course, are in fitness. We love to work out when the gym is closed. We have a personal training studio, so it is not a 24-hour key club or something of that nature, because there's training happening in there, not necessarily just being a gym. So Eric, I am 1000% on with you there. I love whenever we get to work out when no one else is there. You just you crank up the music or you put your headphones in. You don't have to even think about anyone else. It's magic. That's when the real magic happens, right? Let's see. Ringo Starr is 83 and he looks like a 48-year-old guy who's having a hard life. I think that's a fucking win. If you can age and just look like rough for 40 years younger, that is a win. If you can still be truly, I mean, I've always said that I wanted to live to 120 years old. I stand by that. I think that's what the body was originally designed to live towards. But even if you're still up and active and agile and can move your body through space without a great deal of pain and without assistance, that's a win. That's a win. These videos are always funny. Canadian TikTok just hits different. That's funny.
Hey.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, if you guys did not catch my interview with Dan Heron on the Bunny interviews, guys, you've got to circle back. He is a private investigator and has been his entire career in some way, shape, or form. He's always been, he's a federal law enforcement officer. He's a PI. He's got all of the secrets about catching human beings doing human being behavior that is idiotic. He and I talked about, he really brought some wisdom about kind of the I'm going to just go to his page because this picture and post that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about is distracting. Check out Dan Heron. He brought the wisdom and talked about like tells that women in particular, we were talking to men about women in particular bring that that kind of indicate that she is done with the relationship, things that men often ignore and to their detriment. So if you go to our YouTube channel at Fort Worth Playboy and look under the playlist that is the Bunny interviews, you will find my interview with Dan Heron. It was fantastic. And I will tell you, we had an episode, we had a recording, got about 35 minutes in and realized that we had not had any sound. It was a long story, but the point is we didn't have any sound. So we restarted the interview. Thankfully, he is a friend of mine and we just kind of rolled with it. It was no big deal. Thankfully, he and I both had time to restart the interview. But whenever we restarted the video, it was like he went into wisdom mode. And you guys didn't miss anything by not being able to hear the first, because on the second take, he absolutely brought it. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. So if you are not already following this man, I encourage you to do so. I think it's well worth your time. Right now he is traveling. I checked on him just yesterday because I was like, I have not seen or heard from you. And he was like, oh, I'm traveling with beautiful women. Life is good. Okay, this is great. Bright-eyed younger girls versus dead-eyed old women. There's something very appealing about seeing a younger woman become absolutely ecstatic because you're taking her away for a few days at a beach, anywhere at the beach. Conversely, it's a big turnoff when a dead-eyed older woman starts asking about the hotel, how it's rated, what the nice restaurants are, whether there's valet parking, etc. The cynicism of the latter is a turnoff, no matter how hot the older woman. This is from an excerpt from Black Dragon. This is, I wish more older women, and by older I literally mean like 35 and above, would wrap their heads around this concept. That would be so amazing. There would be so many more happier women out there if they would just keep the light in their eyes, even as they're getting older, even if they are unlucky in love, and so they just haven't been able to nail down that relationship that they think that they want and deserve. But this is one of those things that women almost embrace, and it's the saddest thing that they could do. It's the most unfortunate thing. The older they get, the older women get, for the most part. I speak in grand generalizations, never forget that. I'm talking to the masses. There are always outliers, okay? So you don't have to like throw shade about what I'm about to say. The older a woman gets, the longer her list of requirements for relationship, of expectations in the relationship, both monetarily, emotionally, physically, you name it. Older women have a real tendency, you would think that they'd be like more realistic, more relaxed, more ready to go with the flow, more just thankful for the attention. This is absolutely not the case. Absolutely not the case. And any perusal on dating apps or even social media for that matter will back me up on this. Instead, the less physically desirable and older a woman gets, and those two are very much go hand in hand. I'm 45 years old. It's true. Their list just gets more rigid. They become more rigid. The light in their eyes just slowly goes out. And it's so unfortunate to see. And as a woman of my age, I have some friends who, I've got a pretty carefully curated circle around me, but I do have some friends, acquaintances who are older, who have ended up single and are just bitter about it. And instead of saying, I'm 60, I'd be open to dating or marrying an 80-year-old if, because then I can be, the arm candy and I can be the hot younger woman. They're like, I don't want to date an old man, but they behave like an old woman. They don't deserve to be with someone youthful and enthusiastic. They deserve to be with an 80-year-old man. And they'll be happier if they get into that relationship. More times than not, when I've run into these kinds of scenarios with people, women who are older and, like this is saying, getting a little bit more dead-eyed, if they do end up in a relationship with someone older or someone other than what they thought that they deserved, they're so much happier. So much happier. So I totally understand. Not only is youthfulness beautiful, but there's an energy there. Unless there's been childhood trauma or damage to her at a very young age, there is a sparkle and an energy and an enthusiasm in the more youthful woman that just doesn't exist in most women over 35, or it definitely takes a hard turn and starts to deteriorate around that age. And this is from a whole number of reasons. Maybe she hasn't been able to have children. Maybe she hasn't been able to find a husband at all. Maybe the husband turned out to be, just a bad pick. And so the marriage deteriorated. Maybe she kind of went bitch on him and he ended up cheating on her, or maybe he didn't cheat on her. Maybe he was devoted to her, but she thought she could do better. And now he's living happily ever after with someone 10 years younger than her. There are all kinds of reasons and ways that kind of the light escapes from women's eyes, and they become very much like the comparison in this picture. So there's a lot to unpack there, but it doesn't make it less true. Black Dragon was right on. He does a lot of great writing and explaining about life and relationship. And there's just no denying that women with energy seem more youthful. Women with enthusiasm come across with a youthfulness to them because it's associated with youth, with being a younger woman and having more energy. Whoo! Man, we've got some good stuff we've been unpacking today. If you haven't already, I hope that you will jump on my email list. It is free, but if you want to pay a little something for it, you absolutely can. There's that option. I say that it's a weekly newsletter. I try to email most days of the week something. And I try not to just sales you to death, because I'm on a lot of email lists and it's a shame how many just hardcore sales pitches I get. And it makes me not want to open the emails. So it's my goal to completely avoid that habit. Now, that's not to say if I have a new product coming out, if I'm super excited about something, if I need to make rent, then I'm not going to send you a sales email every once in a while. But for the most part, I try to give you my best quality and my emails. So if you're not on this list already, it's myplayboysbunny.gumroad.com/bunny report. It's my 20% girl brain, 100% fun email list, and I hope that you will join in that fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to finish my coffee. I'm going to take a kid to school. I'm going to go to the gym and be productive and have some sex and enjoy my day. I hope that you are doing the same today. Happy Tuesday, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for tuning in today and every day, whether you're live and in the chat and active. Eric, Barron, thank you. You guys are killing it this morning. Lots of great conversation happening here. It's like you guys are in the room and we're just talking amongst friends. That is exactly what I imagined and envisioned for this morning show. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. For those of you who can't tune in live and are watching after the fact, I respect that. Thank you for being here anyway. Go have a great day. Lift heavy things, have sex,